They brought Miss Jane Whitcombe to interview room 1C this morning, a small pale woman in a plain grey dress, hands clasped tightly in her lap as though holding something fragile. She looked more like a timid schoolteacher than someone capable of the violence described in her file. She apologised as she sat down. She apologised again when the chair scraped the floor. She apologised a third time for taking up space. The police report states that Jane attacked a young man named Thomas Avery. He survived, though only barely. The weapon was a pair of long dressmaker scissors, still stained when they were recovered. Jane's hands remained clasped throughout the interview. She refused to open them. Jane spoke softly, eyes lowered. "My mother always said I wasn't the sort men choose," she murmured. "Said I should be grateful for any kindness at all." She described Thomas Avery as the only person who ever saw me. He remembered her name. He asked after her day. He smiled. She built a future out of those small gestures, a quiet imagined life where someone finally wanted her. Then she overheard him telling a colleague he planned to propose to his sweetheart. Jane's voice trembled as she recounted it. "I felt something break," she said, "like a thread snapping. I thought, if he gives her heart to her, then I'll have nothing at all." She looked up at me then, the first time she met my eyes. "So I had to take it first." She went to him after closing. She told him she loved him. He tried to let her down gently. "He said he was flattered," she whispered. "Flattered, as if I were a child with a crush." Her hands tightened in her lap. "I told him I needed his heart, before he gave it away, before he forgot me." She reached into her work apron and took out the scissors. "He tried to run. I didn't want to hurt him. I only wanted what was mine." The police found Thomas Avery collapsed in the shop's back room, bleeding heavily but alive. The wound was deep but not fatal. Jane was sitting beside him, hands cupped together, whispering to something unseen. When officers pried her hands apart, they found nothing. Jane insisted they simply couldn't see it. Throughout our conversation, Jane keeps her hands clasped as though still holding something delicate. At one point, I thought I saw her fingers pulse, a faint rhythmic movement. I cannot be certain. Fatigue and the dim lighting may have played tricks on me. When I asked her what she believed she was holding, she smiled shyly. "His heart," she said. "I'm keeping it safe. He'll want it back one day, when he realises." Her tone was hopeful, almost girlish. As the orderlies prepared to escort her back to her cell, Jane hesitated at the door. She turned to me, eyes wide with fragile expectation. "Doctor," she said softly, "do you think a man like you could ever give his heart to a woman like me?" There was no malice in her voice, no threat, but with her history and her hands still clasped, the question chilled me more than any scream.